And again, to your point, Mr. Lomanak, because again, I'm going to be real careful with saying the word fraud, because I know of a very rich mayor right now. He has about $50 million. I want to be real careful as we talk about this, and I think your concerns are legitimate, and to say that we're not concerned, I think that's very unfair to the board, because if we wasn't concerned, I wouldn't have asked you to bring this up tonight. As I stated to you before, where you were trying to bring it up was in a committee meeting, and that's definitely not what we do because it wasn't following for you. You all were given an agenda that is set by the superintendent and myself, but to make the entire board aware of the concerns. But to Mr. Washington, your responsibility as the auditor is to highlight those potential issues in the district so that we don't have fraud. And I believe that's what the gist of your report was. The gist of your report was not to say that half of the staff of Richland 1 are making purchases that are not supposed to happen. You did a risk assessment, you gave us the report of what the assessment said, but I think what we're all missing, Mr. Lomanak, is that the report tells us where we move forward to improve. I think that's the piece that you're missing. Is his job is to come in and assess the situation, get with the superintendent, and the superintendent divvies down to his staff what needs to happen going forward that this does not occur or continue to occur. And from the onset, I asked Mr. Washington, did you make a recommendation to the superintendent? He said, yes, I did. I asked him, did they comply? He said, yes, they did. So I'm still trying to, in the board, you can tell me if you want a work session to discuss Mr. Lomanak's concern. And I think we all have concerns. I have concerns about a lot of things. I have concerns about people that work against the district to harm the district. And all we're trying to do is educate kids, but I'm not going to call a work session for that. What I would simply say is, if there are concerns in that assessment from 2021, let's find out the answer to the three questions as we move forward. And we move forward. It's no such thing as we can't move forward. Yes, we can. The purpose of the internal auditor, if we didn't want to be transparent about issues in a district or any district, we wouldn't have an internal auditor. But an internal auditor is there to point out weaknesses and make recommendations for us to strengthen the way we operate.